Please, if you enjoy content like this, kindly subscribe to this channel. I create many stories with the same heartfelt purpose. Thank you, truly. Have you ever wondered if a tiny light, like that of a firefly, could save someone who's on the verge of giving up? Sounds strange, doesn't it? But sometimes, what seems absurd is the only thing that keeps a soul from falling apart. This is the story of Marcus, a man once praised by the world, now forgotten in its shadows. He had everything: respect, a loving family, a legacy built on compassion. But when it all disappeared, he found himself standing on a bridge one silent night, ready to vanish from the very world he once gave so much to. And just as he leaned forward, a small hand pulled at his coat. "Are you the man who gave me that bread when I had nothing?" a boy whispered. Marcus froze, and in that moment, in the darkest hour of his life, a child held out a rusty flashlight and said, "I kept this, hoping I'd see you again, so I could give back the light you once gave me." Sometimes we don't realize the light we carry until it returns to find us in our darkest night. Marcus once lived a life many would envy. He wore suits tailored by the best, drove cars most people only saw in magazines. He was the founder of the Lighthouse Foundation, a non-profit that helped street children across Europe. His face appeared in magazines, his name spoken with reverence. But more than his wealth, more than his fame, it was his heart that people admired. He was known for kneeling beside homeless kids, wiping their noses, giving them warm meals, and whispering to them, "You matter. The world may have forgotten you, but I haven't." People called him the light giver, but light attracts both hope and envy. One day, a scandal erupted. Anonymous allegations, corrupt funding accusations. Overnight, Marcus's accounts were frozen, his foundation investigated, and without waiting for truth, the media tore him apart. Even worse, his closest friends vanished. His wife, devastated by the shame, took their daughter and left. And just like that, Marcus went from inspiring millions to sitting alone in a crumbling apartment, staring at water leaking from the ceiling. The only sound was his own breathing. He tried to fight. He tried to speak the truth. But when no one listens, even the strongest voice goes silent. Day after day, he roamed the streets. No job would take him, no shelter. Believed who he once was. He started collecting scraps just to eat. And slowly, Marcus, the man who once gave light, forgot what it meant to feel even a flicker of it. One night, he walked to a bridge he hadn't seen in years. It was the place where 5 years ago he had found a shivering boy under the railings. He had wrapped his own coat around him, handed him a piece of bread, and told him, "One day, you'll remember that even when life is cruel, someone cared." Now, Marcus stood in that same place, but this time, he was the one, shivering. The cold wind cut into him. Tears blurred his vision. He climbed up the edge, and in the stillness of the night, whispered, "I gave everything, and in the end, I'm the one, forgotten." That's when he felt it, a tug, small, gentle, persistent. He looked down and saw a child, no older than 10, face dirty, clothes torn, but those eyes, they glowed with something Marcus hadn't seen in years. "Are you the man who helped me when I was hungry?" Marcus couldn't speak. His throat tightened, his heart cracked. The boy reached into his pocket and pulled out a small old flashlight, rusty, the paint chipped, but it still worked. It still shined. "You gave me this with the bread. I never forgot you, sir. I waited, hoping I'd see you again, so I could give your light back, because maybe now you're the one who needs it." And there, on a broken bridge, under a moonless sky, a forgotten man was saved by the very light he once gave away. People often ask, why do bad things happen to good people? Marcus had asked himself the same question 1,000 times. Why me? I gave, I served, I tried to do right, and yet I was crushed. But life does not always reward immediately. Karma does not always bloom when we want. It ripens when the time is right. In Buddhism, there is a saying, what you do to others, you do to yourself. When Marcus gave light to that boy years ago, he wasn't buying karma. He wasn't expecting anything in return, but life remembered, the universe remembered, because even when humans forget, your kindness, karma, never forgets. You see, darkness is not the enemy. It is the canvas where light is seen most clearly. If Marcus had not fallen, he would never have known how deeply that one act of kindness had grown. It wasn't about fame. It wasn't about being a hero. It was about presence, a moment where he made someone feel seen, loved, worthy, and sometimes that's all it takes to save a life. We think the world is cruel because we see headlines, betrayal, corruption, hate, but quietly, without applause, kindness still happens. Light still moves. Marcus learned this. You may lose your job, you may lose your name, but if you gave with a pure heart, life will find a way to bring that light back to you. Maybe not in the way you expect, maybe not when you want it, but it will return. Because what you give to the world is never wasted. So ask yourself, have you ever helped someone and felt like it didn't matter? Have you ever given your heart and only received silence in return? If so, this is your reminder. It mattered, even if no one clapped, even if no one said thank you. The light you shared may be on its way back to you, right now, in a form you don't expect, in a face you don't recognize, at a time you need it most. And maybe, just maybe, you'll realize, like Marcus did, that the most powerful thing you can do in this life is to be a light, even in darkness. After that night, Marcus didn't go back to being a director. He didn't reopen his foundation. He didn't reclaim his name. What he did was simpler, quieter, deeper. He returned to the bus station every evening. No title, no suit, no recognition, just a pot of rice porridge and a smile for whoever was cold, tired, hungry, forgotten. People began to notice, not because of who he was, but because of how he made them feel. Warm, worthy, seen, and oddly,
Marcus felt lighter than he ever had, even at the height of his success. "I don't need to be remembered," he once said. "I just need to be a light for someone who's in the dark, like I once was." The world doesn't need more heroes. It needs more hearts, more quiet hands that show up when everyone else walks away. Because the truth is, you don't have to save 1,000,000 people. You just have to save one from giving up, even one. And if everyone did that, the world would glow. So now I ask you, have you ever been someone's light? Or maybe, have you been saved by someone at your darkest hour? If yes, please share it in the comments. Your story might be the matchstick that lights up another soul's entire night. But if your answer is no, then maybe today is the day you become that light for someone else. Even if they never say thank you, even if they never know your name, just give, shine, walk with love, and let life take care of the rest. But here's a question that might divide many. If you lost everything, your job, your family, your dignity, would you still choose to be kind? Would you still help, even if the world spit in your face? Or would you turn cold, like the world that broke you? Comment your thoughts below. I want to know, how far can kindness go before it breaks? How far can you go before you stop shining? Or will you be like Marcus and choose to be a light?